Hey, baby. That's you. That's you. Look like it looks just like you. Hi friends, welcome back to the Chicken Mom vlog and my channel Earthlings Uncaged. This is episode 8, I think, and today we're going to be putting together a first aid kit for my chicken babies. This is the second to last episode of the Chicken Mom vlog for the foreseeable future. I might add more episodes here and there as I go, and I'm going to be doing other types of videos, but for the Chicken Mom vlog, we are nearing the end. We have pretty much completed the initial to-do list that we started with in episode 1, and so we just have a few more things to check off, and then we're wrapping it up. Thank you to everybody who has watched from the beginning. If you're new here, I encourage you to go back and start from the beginning. I think it has a lot of good information in it, but it's also just a fun glimpse into what Chicken Mom life can look like. I'm also going to be launching a website soon with a lot of cool things, so stay tuned for that. Hey, Nanners. You want in on this? If you're new here as well, I have videos about how to get super cuddly chickens. As you can see, my chickens are very cuddly. I put a lot of time and thought into this relationship and this dynamic, but cuddling your chickens is just one amazing aspect of having chickens. There's so much more that goes into it, like creating an amazing safe space for them and caring for them in the way that they need to stay healthy. So having a first aid kit on hand is something that I've wanted to do for a really long time, and I'm so excited to get it all together. A lot happened in my last episode. Thank you everybody so much from the bottom of my heart who commented and sent their love in regards to my horse Bridget. That was such a tough, heavy couple weeks. It's an actual miracle because both vets said that she was going to have to be let go, but then she pulled through and she is still alive to this day as I'm filming this. I'm so grateful. Your support helped me through more than you know, but I just wanted to say thank you for your patience as my attention kind of had to steer towards my horse Bridget for a couple weeks. Before we really get into it, make sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date for everything I have coming your way. Share it with a friend, like it if you end up liking it, drop a comment, say hi, I'd love to hear from you. And without any further ado, let's make a first aid kit. Another day, another chicken thing. Chicken Mom vlog. Back. Putting together a first aid kit. Before we start on the first aid kit, I want to show you what I did between last episode and this one. I finished the quarantine section. So, hi River, don't mind me. So as you know, I added the mini run that I opened this up into, and instead of using under here as storage, it's now a quarantine space. This sort of ties in to the first aid kit. This is for when a chicken needs to be separated for whatever reason. The roost farm. I wanted to make the nest boxes, at least 2 of them, sort of low because like when Coda had her leg injury, she couldn't actually get up. So giving them options. Hi Pumpkin. Hi little monkey. You laying an egg? Okay, let's get back to the first aid kit. I have this box of all kinds of stuff. I did not get everything from Chewy. I did get a lot from Chewy, but I also got things from Amazon and some like bird specific stores, and I just kind of put it all together. I'm gonna sort of organize it and then explain to you what I have. I'm still learning and researching everything that I have in here, and there is so much information online, and sometimes that information like contradicts itself. So before I administer anything to my chickens ever, I'm always going to double check and double research it. Make sure you do your own research if you're putting together a first aid kit. I am not an expert. I'm not saying that I have all the answers. I'm just doing my best to piece this together. I just wanted to make this video to inspire you to create your own first aid kit and to consider the levels of care that you might have to give your chickens if you're thinking of getting chickens, or if you already have chickens and you kind of want to dive into that. Hi. Hello. I was really intimidated to start the process of piecing together a first aid kit, so I think just watching somebody kind of try to figure it out would have helped me get started a little sooner. I would always recommend vet care if you have that available to you. In episode 4 of the Chicken Mom vlog, I took my chicken Pepper to the vet for a respiratory issue, and I'm really glad I did that. There are just sometimes cases where you can treat things at home, like minor bumblefoot or scratches, abrasions, injuries, things like that, or where it's you cannot get care because it's like midnight and none of the vets are open and you have to provide some sort of care because it's so time sensitive in order to keep them alive through the night to even get them to the vet. I tried to be realistic about what I thought I actually could treat safely at home and what I think actually could pop up with having chickens, because it's easy to kind of spiral and want to get stuff for everything. So I tried to sort of be realistic about that, but still have a pretty comprehensive kit overall with what I feel comfortable with treating for. I will make a list of what I have below in the description if you're curious about what I have, but again, please do your own research and don't just blindly take my word for it. I'll also link a couple of the resources that I found that helped me piece this together. There was like one really helpful article in particular that gave me a really good jumping off point to my research that I'll definitely link below for you guys. Something that I learned recently is that when chickens are on certain types of medications, there's an egg withdrawal period where you and they cannot eat their eggs. With anything that you give them, just make sure to do a check on that before you consume their eggs if your chicken is receiving any sort of extra care. I was so excited to receive all this in the mail. I've been itching to get it all organized and in these tubs behind me, all nice and neat, because it's cool. I'm going to sort of break this down into categories and briefly explain it. This is, again, just to inspire you jumping off into your own research. If you have a first aid kit of your own, please let me know in the comments if I forgot anything, what your go-to items are, or if there's things on here that you've had experiences with that you don't recommend. Whatever in regards to first aid kits, I would love to hear. First and foremost, might I recommend the Chicken Health Handbook by Gail Damrow. This is the 2nd edition. It has all sorts of information. Like, I literally just flipped this open and learned something that I needed to know. So it's really nice to have on hand. The thing that I just flipped to is sterilizing, and that's something I'm going to be doing whenever I have guests over. I'm going to require that they spray their shoes because people are walking through the world picking up all sorts of potential things that could harm a flock, and when they walk into your backyard where your chickens are, they're bringing all of that with them. That's something that I haven't been super careful about in the past, but I'm gonna start doing it now. I have this little spray bottle. I'm still figuring out what I'm gonna use. I have a separate pair of boots that I only wear in my chicken area that don't ever go outside of the chicken area, so that covers my end. But when I have people over, I can't expect them to bring their own chicken boots. I got these little bottles, which I wasn't sure about, but they make things so much easier. I've actually already used it. This one has iodine in it that I'm using to treat Ari, my rooster's comb, right now. I tried putting the iodine on his comb just drop by drop like this, and it was so hard. And he doesn't like a spray bottle either. Once I used this, it made things so much easier. It's also nice because you can get in certain cracks and crevices. Highly recommend getting a couple of these bottles to put some of your liquids in. Let's start with just like the basic, some tools and things. I have these scissors that cut bandages and other things if you want to be able to safely cut close to your chicken, especially because they wiggle around a lot. This is going to make it much safer than just a regular pair of pointy scissors. I have this adhesive wrap. It only sticks to itself, not to the animal. I have lots of rolls of these. Got a bunch of gauze rolls, which can be cut and folded into pads, so I felt like this could kind of be versatile. It also came with medical tape as well. So lots of rolls, medical tape, some gloves, a thermometer. I also have these little droppers. I do have little syringes and things too, but those are inside. That's good to have for multiple reasons. Syringes of different sizes. I have these little scissors, some tweezers, and little tiny nail clippers. I also got this quick stop powder in case they ever need something to stop blood, especially if you have to do things like clip nails. I think this is a really good thing to have on hand. I already had these measuring cups sitting around. This is to measure things. Let's move on to sterilization and wound care. So I already touched on the iodine. I also have this saline wound wash alcohol available. The iodine can also treat wounds, and sort of in the same family as the iodine, just slightly different flavors of it. I have this Vetericin. It seems to be a bit more gentle and less aggressive. And then I also have this Blue Coat. This is one of those things where I'm seeing mixed reviews about, where some people are saying it is safe for chickens, some people are saying it's not. I'm gonna research this more. The reason I got it is because I was reading that if they have a wound like Ari's comb that cannot heal because the girls keep pecking it, this will turn it blue and help deter the pecking. So I thought that might be good to have on hand. I've used this Vetericin on so many things. I highly recommend having this in your kit. I do recommend this. I've used this enough where I feel confident about it. Neosporin, make sure to get the pain-free kind. Vaseline, various uses. I also got this salve from Happy Hens that I've been using on his comb injury. It's all natural. It treats multiple things. I'm probably going to try out a few different salves to have on hand. Okay, so that's kind of like sterilization and wound care. Let's move on to respiratory. I actually do have a nebulizer. This little machine here hooks up to right here. So this hooks up here. Boop. You can put medications in this that were prescribed by the vet, but I've been reading you can also add diluted things such as this Vet RX. I believe you can add this to their water. This is a natural blend of stuff that can help aid in respiratory health. I also have oregano oil and thyme oil, which aids in respiratory health as well. This is kind of my like respiratory power package matched with my nebulizer. In the next episode, I'm going to be talking about more preventative care. I'm putting together an herbal mixture to add to their fermented food. Preventative care is really the best way to go. Hopefully, I have to use this minimally. You can do a lot of things to keep your flock healthy to minimize the need for all this stuff, like proper ventilation, low stress levels, proper temperatures, healthy environments, healthy flock dynamics, healthy and safe enrichments, good diets, good supplements. I'm going to be making an electrolyte supplement in the next episode as well. Those things are kind of like the first level, and then you sort of get to this level, and then you get to like taking your chicken to the hospitalization level. But hopefully you never reach those steps, but you know, sometimes it's unavoidable. I love having a nebulizer. I felt so cool when I brought this home. I have unscented Epsom salt used for multiple things. I soaked Ari's foot in an Epsom salt bath for Bumblefoot a while ago, and it really helped. Hi, Coda. Do you want help? Hi. How are you? I have a gentle oatmeal shampoo if they ever need bathed for any reason. Towels, and one of the tubs behind me, it serves as storage for this stuff, but also serves as a bathtub for them if and whenever needed. Let's move on to some of the more, I guess, like, I don't want to say complicated, but I guess a little bit more advanced care, but it's still common stuff to have. So this is aspirin specifically, okay, careful, specifically for animals. Make sure to dose everything correctly. You have to dose all of this correctly because it can be fatal if you don't. From what I was reading, it seemed like you can give chickens human aspirin, but it has to be really low dosage and it has to be non-coated. And I was finding a really hard time finding that, so I just kind of bit the bullet and got this aspirin, even though there's like, this is like a ridiculous amount of aspirin and I'll never get through it. I have it just in case. I also do have pain meds, meloxicam. It's a pain medication that's prescribed that I got from the vet last time with Pepper that we didn't get through, so I sort of have a little bit of that in my back stock now for pain. I have a calcium supplement here. There were a couple different options. I landed on this one. This was recommended for when you come upon an egg-bound chicken, giving them the correct dosage of the correct type of calcium supplement. Make sure to research, can help induce muscle contractions that can help push the egg forwards through the reproductive system and out the vent. I did lose an egg-bound chicken last year by the time I realized something was wrong, which was she was fine in the morning and then it was probably 3:30 p.m. I had her under my care for about 15 minutes before she passed in my arms. I don't know that something like this would have helped. I tried getting her to a vet, but calling those vets at 3 p.m., 3:30 p.m., places weren't really accepting walk-ins at that time, and she wouldn't have even made it to the vet. It was extremely heartbreaking and tough. I'm going to be making a list of vets later in this video for that exact reason, because when there's a health issue, you don't want to be scrambling to figure out what vets are available to you in your area. If it were a minor egg-bound case and it was like 7 p.m. at night and vet places weren't open, I would be really happy to have something like this on hand to give the hen some assistance through the night to see if I can help her pass the egg so it doesn't get worse. And then if it still hadn't passed, take her to the vet in the morning type of thing. If you have a vet available. I know some people don't even have chicken vets within driving distance of them, so you have to treat things at home. All right. Can I sit you down, my beautiful, and cuddle you a little bit? Okay. I have this Corid. Again, you must dose it correctly. This is used to treat coccidiosis, which is an internal parasite, an intestinal parasite that is fatal and acts extremely quickly once you see the onset of symptoms, and you have to be able to act and treat it extremely fast. So if you can't get to the vet and if you can't get your hands on this fast enough, you could lose your chicken. So this felt really important to have. If I ever see the symptomatic onsets of coccidiosis, I feel comfortable giving them a correct dosage of Corid to potentially save their lives, because this can be life-threatening just within a matter of a day of noticing their symptoms. Yes, hello, honey. You want to be held? Okay. Okay. Nystatin. I think that's what it's, I don't know how to pronounce it. This is what it looks like. This is to treat yeast infections. The most common ones seem to be sauerkraut and vent gleet. And I know there are a few different options. I landed on this. This just seemed like the most straightforward one. There are so many different supplements and minerals and things online available for your chickens. I landed on this Poultry Cell by Rooster Booster. It has a good combination of vitamins and minerals, and it says amino acids and iron and things like that. There's also B vitamins, things that if you treat something like Corid, it's going to deplenish the nutrients in their system, and they're going to need some assistance getting that back. So then following that up with a treatment, a vitamin aid such as this can be really helpful. This can also be used if your chickens are going through molting. I would have used this after my move from California to Texas. If they're recovering from an illness, it just seemed like an overall really good thing to have on hand. Again, in the next episode, I'm going to be making a homemade electrolyte mix and an herbal mix that will provide them a lot of things. So I'll also have that available as an option as well. Sort of like I have Vetericin, Blue Coat, and iodine They're all in the same family, but you can kind of choose what exactly is the best thing for when certain things arise in that category. This was something I wasn't sure about, but I decided I could probably handle this. These are 18 gauge, 1.5 inch needles. I got these specifically to treat water belly. It's when their abdomen fills with fluids. It's a symptom of something else going on internally. It can be a few serious things that cause water belly, so I would still seek vet treatment, but I have this available to me if I feel like draining out some of that fluid is going to help in the meantime or for ongoing care. I will be doing a lot of research before I poke a needle in my chickens though, so don't just nilly-willy do this. There are certain things, like I've seen people with a scalpel set and they treat their chicken for a crop impaction where they have to cut through all the layers of skin and like pull out stuff from their crop. That level of care felt a little bit too invasive for me. I don't think I would feel comfortable with that unless I could not get a vet to perform those procedures. But since I know I have vets available to me, I decided not to get like a scalpel set and sutures and things, because personally I think that's kind of where the level of care would tip me over into definitely seeking vet treatment for something like that. That's pretty much everything. I'm going to treat Ari's little comb. He's my first patient in my little hospital. Not a real vet though, okay? Take everything with a grain of salt. Do your own research. Use your best discretion. Provide the best care you can. Okay. Ari, buck, buck, buck. Another thing I have in my kit is just some paper towels. Always good to have. This way I'm not like pulling the kitchen paper towels into the chicken area and then getting confused with where they belong and all that stuff. Ari, buck, 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 buck. Hi, handsome. Can I give you a little treatment? Hey, handsome. Hi, handsome. This is actually looking better. It seems like what we're doing, which is the iodine and the salve right now, is really working and helping. So I'm just going to give him another treatment of that. I'm actually going to move the camera so you can see better. Okay, so we're keeping him nice and calm. I'm putting his little legs between my legs. I always try to make sure they're calm first so that it's a relaxing experience for them. I tuck a little paper towel underneath of his comb so the iodine doesn't drip down on him. Yeah, I'm just gonna tuck this picture. Then using our handy dandy squeeze bottle, just put in the tiniest amount on his wound. Good job, Ari. You're so good. The wind sort of puts him and everybody on edge because it adds a lot of sounds in their environment and a lot of movement. So good. He's so cute. You're so cute. And the salve. And just rub it on him. He's such a good boy. Good job, handsome. I always make sure to cuddle him after so that he doesn't feel like he's only going to have all this done to him. Make it a positive experience for my boy. Sweet boy. You're so handsome. Yeah, you did such a good job. You wanna go down? Okay. Bye. Okay, I got everything more or less organized and somewhat labeled for me, but also in case I have a pet sitter and I have to sort of explain where something is. Yes, it takes up a decent amount of space, but it takes up much less space than the gaping hole of my heart would take if I lost one of my chickens due to something that I could treat. Hi, honeys. Hi, honeys. Handsome. You eating? Are you eating some lunch? Hi, Kada. Something I just thought of to mention is that I started keeping a cage set up inside at all times that has a feeder, a waterer, a nest box, and a clean surface bottom area. I use like paper grocery bags or like the paper bags from their feed. I just have that ready so that if I ever need to bring one in, it's just already set up. It makes a world of difference, and I would highly recommend that. If for some reason they can't be in their quarantine run and coop section and they need to be inside, I've already used that and it was really helpful to have on hand. Another thing I have on hand is a carrier ready at all times in case they have to be transported. This is not only for me, but again, if I have a pet sitter, it is just already ready to go. I'm like in the most awkward squat right now. Just like while filming. I have just gotten off the phone with the vets in my area. I've made what I feel pretty comfortable with as a list of vets. It can be a little tricky because each vet has specific hours, days that they're closed, different protocols for if they allow walk-ins, if they allow emergencies, if they even have a chicken vet. And the last thing you want to do is to be navigating all of that in the middle of an emergency. I've been there twice before and I told myself never again because sometimes time is of the essence. This is also really good. I'm gonna slide this in somewhere in my first aid kit so that if and when I'm out of town, a pet sitter has access to the list of vets as well. I have the numbers, the addresses, the hours, everything listed out here. If you have access to chicken vets in your area, I would definitely recommend this. I know not everybody does have a chicken vet available to them within driving distance, so if you don't, I know that's tough, but I would do as much research as I could, take as many preventative steps as you can take to keep your flock as healthy as possible. Always monitor for early onset signs and have a really comprehensive first aid kit and understanding of how to treat things as they come up if you don't have access to a vet. I would also do that even if you do have access to a vet. I did not think through how hot it was gonna get. I'm like very much too hot in this sweater. But we're about to wrap things up. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this video was informative and hopefully inspiring to kick off your journey with creating a first aid kit for your chickens. Maybe you're thinking about getting chickens. I hope this gives you something to consider as you start. I know it's a lot to bite off and it can be a little bit intimidating. I was definitely intimidated by it, but I feel so much better just having gotten this kit started. Like I've said a million times before, make sure to do your own research with all of this. Be very careful when self-treating and always turn to vet care if possible whenever needed. This is just one piece of the puzzle to having a healthy, happy flock. There's so many other marks to hit when it comes to chicken care. If you liked this video, please give it a like. It helps me out. It helps other people find the video. Share it with a friend. Subscribe. I have so much coming your way. I'm Madeline. This is Earthlings Uncaged, and I'm passionate about keeping animals safe and happy. See you next time.